Hey! Holy shnikes. I was like, wait, hold on. This is going on YouTube, right? Let's see if we try not to curse, like, within the first minute, okay? Okay. Yeah, let's just do it. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Justin, and you're watching or listening to episode 365 DangIT Podcast. That's one whole year. One whole year. If I had realized this sooner, I would have had something much like better prep for this, but I don't. I literally just had everything set up as far as titling the stream here on Twitch, and I totally forgot about the fact that like, oh yeah, it's 365. But I don't really have anything like substantial to really go over with that one, um, honestly, because if you go through the history of it, a lot of it's changed, but it's ultimately been kind of the same thing. It's been me kind of piloting this channel, right? Well, now it's on Twitch, but it's technically, let's say, just both YouTube and Twitch together, in the same car, and they're in the back, they're strapped up, and I'm the one who's just kind of like just going through the traffic and everything like that. And I mean, this is just so much that's like really has changed like throughout the dynamic of DangIT Prodcast. It started with sticky notes, right? Um, that's how far back it goes. Actually, I went back, tapped it up real quick to see like how like what have we been doing since, I guess, as of the time of like the posting on YouTube, since May 23rd of 2014. We've just been talking. It's been one whole like, well, the idea is that you can literally watch every episode of DangIT Podcast. I believe they should all at least all be just listed in the playlist on YouTube. Um, with some other instances where like we had to cut in between here and there. I would say it was. I know there was a time where we were hit with a copyright strike, and we were trying to carry out like a podcast, and I think we just did part one, part two. So if you go through into the YouTube playlist, there's actually a little bit more than 365. Not by a lot, but you know, it is what it is. I might have to go through actually and find them all just to make sure that they're all listed accordingly. Oh yeah, yeah, we definitely had like um, it was like episodes like 78, 980 or so, right? And we had to cut those into parts, big time. But it is what it is. As long as they're all just kind of just there, I'm totally fine with it. But yeah, actually, this is a good opportunity. I'm just kind of looking through right now. So I guess I guess we're just gonna go with a callback to like episode one. This one was titled. I'm not going through every single episode, by the way. I'm just kind of going through some like bits and pieces in between. So we got the sticky note prank, DJ Hero, Frozen, inside jokes, and etc. as the title for episode one of DangIT Podcast. This to give some like behind the scenes, this was filmed at one of my school's chapels, and there was the famous chocolate wall in the back, and it was just myself and Gabe, and I don't remember how we did the recording. I think it was my like smartphone at the time, and it was like probably an iPhone 5S, yeah, something like that. It was recording audio for that, but as far as the actual visuals, it was recorded on like a camcorder. Figured that like if we can get audio like as best as possible away from the camera, but as close to us as humanly possible, then we would be good enough. It's still relatively the same type of principle that I would follow. You know, the idea is that we didn't have like much of a lineup of products to use or equipment, so we were just doing the best that we could. I'm gonna actually just mute this and proceed to the next thing in the playlist. Talks about relationships. We used one of my classrooms for this one. My God, like I don't remember what what year in college was I in this one. Was I? It was either like freshman or sophomore year, but actually, you know what? I'm gonna wager that it is sophomore year. I just remember that like the first like 6 to 7 episodes of DangIT Podcast were like really dynamic and or impactful in the sense that we were slowly like accruing like a team time. First episode was myself and Gabe. Second episode was myself and Gabe. Third episode was Sephi included into that one, and Sephi included with the fourth episode, and fifth was Christoph. Sixth was David, right? And we also had like a little bit of like Melody included in there. She's an old high school friend of mine. And we started using a crazy dynamic. Oh, ooh. And I just came across like the Japanese anime versus American cartoons podcast. First of all, I love the setting for that one. It's in a Pacific area, like at my school at the time, and it was just perfect for just like conversing while having this really cool camera angle where everyone could be seated and at the time be caught like on camera, but not like have the camera be like placed so far away just to catch that angle. We didn't have a wide angle lenses at the time. Still kind of don't, if you can believe that. Not super wide angle anyway. And then everything started changing, right? Like we had like a hiatus for podcast episodes like up to 20. And I remember that like Gabe had moved in, like I believe with her like his sister in a different like locale from his house. Gabe has moved a good number of times throughout the podcast. Even now, like he's not even in the area anymore. But rest assured, I have not changed at all. Like as far as like where I lived since then, but where I filmed was definitely different. We filmed a bit over like in Gabe's place, at the school again, more places like at the school. And then Sephi came like and visited since she was going to San Diego. And then there was David. Christoph was there for a hot minute, and then we were back at Gabe's place, and then it looks like Steven showed up in episode 41. Wow, that's that's a huge jump. And then whatchamacallit, 42 was like that's when Nye shows up. And I believe 43 is when Nolan comes in. You see how it's like it's a consecutive like re-entry of things? And so yeah, the dynamic just kind of kept changing a little bit over time. We kind of kept like a core cast of myself, Gabe, Steven, Anaya, Nolan, and we just kind of kept going for that for a while. And then at some point, we did add David, and we had like Christoph and stuff. We just had like a reunion, and we just had like a like a combined like forces type of thing for a little short bit. And then whatchamacallit, there was Q&A. We were doing reactions like within like episode 70s and so forth. Um and let's see. There was we had like oh yeah, Trajan as well. That was looks like episode 108, 107 or 108. And oh yeah, this is when we started doing live stream podcast. I believe it was yeah, it's episode 109. Holy shit, we started doing live streams at episode 109, and then so forth. It's always been some type of like live stream. If not, it was a failed live stream, and we just posted the recordings after the fact. Thank goodness I do that. Which, by the way, this episode is no exception. We are streaming on like a different website than YouTube at this time. Just seeing how well the connection is, and so far, knock on wood, everything turns out well. It seems like everything's doing just fine too. So I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I'll tell you what, I'll try to do another live stream back on YouTube. Maybe next podcast, and then we'll see like if there's any dramatic changes. We did this past week has been kind of a bummer. Not because of E3, although that we can talk about that. But Wednesday or Tuesday, we had a terrible thing happen in the sense that like our modem here at home had died, and we had to go through a whole replacement process, and that was a thing. I don't know if that specifically impacts our connection with YouTube. It just never has been a real problem when it came to connecting to Twitch. I don't know why that is, but I've done every single setting that I could on OBS to make it so that it would connect, but here's hoping that this one works out just fine going forward. But if I had to like do like an overarching like review on how things have been for podcasting, it's been strange for us. I know for sure because granted, like over the years, podcast like as like a platform or like a form of media has been I wouldn't say widely sought after, but it's been like a much more popular type of thing to do, and it's been easily accessible as far as like just simply releasing things on YouTube for it, or actually releasing like audio like podcasts, all that other stuff. We never fully integrated to doing that. I'm gonna be like 110% honest about that. Um, if I had more time on my hands, I would post more audio podcasts there, and we would use that one platform. But I just haven't really gotten around to isolating the audio, like the audio episodes from early podcasting and posting them up there. Um, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna like lie about it though. That's a lot of like embarrassing things too, because when you look back on all of that, you're gonna see every single form of like quality in there, from bad to fantastic to just passing at this point. I kind of wish I had like the XLR mics, but they are still over on the office. Maybe we should have just done the podcast at the office, but a lot of things have changed then there too. This past year has been kind of dynamic too, as far as like for the podcast as well, or impactful really is the better word for it. Sense that, like the usual dynamic would be myself and like another person, that'd be Gabe, but because of the fact that well, for one, he finally went like and joined the Marines, right? He was finally able to do it. He finally made his dream come true. And my my thing is that like I haven't really done too many solo podcasts. There's definitely been some, but I know that I personally had gone through some issues doing that and always questioning like how good of the content is. And honestly, I've gotten to a point where, like a podcast is a podcast. It's valid. You give it the validity that is the podcast. Um so so here I am. And though this all kind of caught me by surprise about like being like 365, I would say all in all, like it hasn't really changed too dramatically as far as like what it's all about. It's just me talking to friends as we just kind of figure out like the world, our lives, and a lot has changed. Like obviously, I talked about how Gabe has moved several times. He's now in the Marines now, so he's across the entire country here. So but the friends that we've established are always there. We're still communicating, whether like we see it like on the podcast or not. And the locations change for sure. Like obviously, like we're filming like at my old, like, well, not my old place, but my house. But in the past we've just filmed like at my school that I used to attend to, different classrooms, friends' houses, um, like the apartments. And it's kind of gone full circle back to this, where I'm actually just using the Blue Yeti mic right here as like an old example of like something that has been like with us since I want to say like 2014, 2015. Yeah, pretty much like starting out like that, and we're still being able to use it. That's kind of crazy. Honestly, I think that the Blue Yeti has gone through its motions, but because of the enhancement of technology, we've been able to make it kind of work. Otherwise, I would have went with the XLR thing. It's kind of bulky though. That's kind of my like main takeaway and issue with using that, is that it's so good. Like if I had to say anything like for those who want to jump into podcasting, is that audio is so important. And if you can find like really good mics, and there are a lot of good mics. I would also say that this is a really good mic, especially when you go into like other settings, such as OBS, and you just do audio filters. You can make it work and actually sound really good. So 100% like recommend. There's actually a really small USB microphone from I think Razer that's like $50, and it's like really good. There's even some that are like I think 30, and you're like, okay, well, it could work. Yeah, I could work. Actually, I've been kind of keeping my eyes out for whatchamacallit. I like what Elgato's got for like their like mic setup. So I've been thinking about it. I just don't have I don't have the right like reason to go get it, right? Because I'm at a point where I'm trying to save up money. I say that, but I have a bill that just came in for $1,000, and I was like, granted that that's probably the Xbox. Oh, I'm so happy that I finally am caught up with like the current generations here. So I mean, granted, like the PC, like as far as the editing slash streaming and the streaming, if not gaming PC, are like absolutely upgraded to like their maximum like potential. That's fine. But at least we have the Switch, we have the Series X right there, we got the PlayStation 5. Um, I was gonna say like, did I? Yeah, and I did podcasts for like all of them. I think I don't know when did well, I mean, I guess granted though, like all I have to do is just like go through the podcast, right? And just find the one that's from 2017, somewhere in March, and then we could talk about it, right? Um I know that I remember that there was an episode specifically on my take when they first introduced the Switch. We even have a reaction for it. And I remember that because it's copyrighted music. Um damn dude. I remember I was super excited about the Nintendo Switch. And I still kinda am. Still kinda am. Might actually look that up right now. I wonder though. Not that one. Thoughts on Nintendo Switch? Oh man, this is 4 years ago, and oh man, hold on. Sorry, I'm just gonna just randomly click on this one too. Oh, this is actually really cool. I forgot about this. Just as how we have like a live stream like right now. Um, this is us back in January 2017. I believe this might be one of the like the early podcasts which we do things live. We had a really cool thing where we would have like text scrolling, and we could still do that. I just don't add that like anymore. Stream time's also just been kind of removed, but honestly, if we had something to make that, we also had the chat too, which is great. I actually liked having that, and we also had like, wow, is the Dang Podcast logo like that old? Damn, dude, really old. I've been thinking about changing the logo too. I have an idea of like what it could be, but I just haven't really gone about to, yes, making it official. Yeah. I also, damn, dude, I see Andy in the old chat from 2017. Dude, this says 21. It's easy. Oh, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna go through all of this, and ultimately, I would say that I think that no matter what, I've just personally enjoyed doing like the podcast to a point where like if I just stopped, I don't know what I'd do. I mean, maybe that'd just be the one thing. Maybe that'd just be like one thing I wouldn't be doing. And technically speaking, since we're on Twitch, as far as the live stream recording, and this will be like obviously uploaded later on YouTube for those who actually watch it there. Um, in on Twitch, we're just doing a community stream where I'm just kind of in the same dynamic, still talking to people, right? Or talking to either. Either way, it kind of works. And it's just kind of the same dynamic. So even if I just stop doing podcasts, like as far as uh DangIT Podcasts is gone, is dead, I would still have these types of settings where I'm just openly just talking about stuff, and that's ultimately the main element of what DangIT Podcast has been about. So it's just mind-boggling that we finally got to a point where you could watch every episode from 1 to like 365, hopefully, right? Like you just have to type in the number. You should be able to find it. I try my best to like have it all in one playlist, but honestly that'd be something I need to like look and double check on. But it's just crazy. You could literally watch every episode of Dang Podcast at least once a day, and you go through an entire year of your life, and that's crazy. And you know what's also crazy is that like there could be some podcasts that go on for many, many years. Although albeit it probably wouldn't be like someone's lifetime, right? Because at that point, like you're literally changing the dynamic. You no longer have your host anymore. They're 6 feet under. My God, dude. It got dark. I apologize about that. But that does make me question like when will we just stop doing like the podcast, right? Because and ultimately it can kind of extend out to like how long do I want to do like just like social media platform like content creation type of stuff. And that's really tough because, you know, like everyone the cast for DangIT Podcast is very young. Like we're all very young. So and it's weird to say because like I'm gonna like I'm not quite close, but I'm gonna hit my 30s and it's gonna be like that's weird because 2014 is when I was in college and you know I started the channel like after I graduated from high school. So it's been a journey. It's weird and for those who actually sat down and watched, thank you. But also what are you doing? Oh boy. So I guess all in all, like I couldn't tell you like how long I'd be doing this. I have no reason why not to. So especially since I want to keep doing it for some godforsaken reason. But I'll keep at it, and I guess we'll have probably another consecutive like 365 days. Who knows what will happen? Because it was like 2014 to now, so I mean like that's way over. I mean if I can do math right now, like 7 years or so. Damn, dude, that's wow. 7 years, bruh. So I guess I'll see you guys in another 7 years, yeah. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Am I gonna be married? Am I finally gonna have a dog? Dream. Especially now where I'm just like my goal is to save up, right? Um invest in stuff. That's one thing. But also keep saving to buy a house essentially. And then maybe next on the list I could just add Tesla or some kind of electric car. I don't know. Electric cars are starting to like are trying to become more widespread like on different car companies now. So that's really interesting. But I guess that's pretty much it as far as like the topic for DangIT Podcast. Listen, if you still watch these, if you consistently watch these and are enjoying it, like wherever you are, whenever, honestly, thank you. Because I think ultimately my old goal for YouTube was, and just on a, like a social media content creation platform, it would just be to simply make content for a living, right? I think that's the ultimate that's the golden dream essentially. Like in on the internet, it's just to be able to do something and earn profit off it without the idea of going through the old main standard of having like an actual job. Well, I say actual, but just you know like what it used to be, like actual versus like the pipe dream, right? But at this point, like it's both are accessible. Maybe like internet's a little tougher nowadays because like there's it's now just been proliferated to a bunch of other people. You're essentially competing with everyone else. But never lose heart on that. Honestly, I have no right to really give anyone advice on it, but just do what you want to do and enjoy it. That's ultimately your definition of success, because it doesn't have necessarily mean you have to earn money for it. Well, I guess that's like a financial succession, like successful like idea. If you really just want to do something, like you have a goal in mind to make this channel or make this type of content, then that's already successful as it is. Just enjoy it, on going for it. Yeah. So we'll definitely keep it up. I'm really interested in seeing how things change up over the next couple years, even like the next 10 episodes. Honestly, I have no idea what's gonna happen. But yeah, all right. So let me go ahead, take a swig at this, some water, by the way, and go through some actual topics that I had in mind. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to talk about E3, right? Honestly, this is kind of crazy because 365 like episodes for DangIT Podcast, right? And it's literally the week after E3 just happened. And I don't believe like if anyone watches this and not like Twitch, then all of like our thoughts are going to be new about it. But I would say all in all, to keep it pretty short, E3 kind of sucked. But on a report card, when you're reporting every single thing and just making an average out of it, it passes. It just barely passes with like a C or something like that. Or if you got to give it like a numerical rating, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10, because literally Xbox slash Bethesda and Nintendo shouldered the entire thing. Because you had whatchamacallit, you had it was like Square Enix, the Gearbox Entertainment, had Capcom, and they didn't really have too much. Ubisoft was there, and they were given stuff, and that was all right. It was all right. I think the main takeaway that I got out of it was the fact that Wario and Rabbids get like a sequel, and I wasn't expecting it. Nevertheless, have that happen while I was live streaming like my playthrough Mario Rabbids. That, by the way, is going to stay on Twitch. I didn't have any idea or plan to have it on YouTube, so it is what it is. However, we are doing Final Fantasy VII Remake Intermission, the DLC content. So I do have that plan to be released, because, of course, just kind of go the god awful playthrough that lasted so long in editing or in post than it did me playing through it. But going back to E3, I'll say all in all, I think that Xbox right now and Bethesda are kind of in a good place. You know, they've been like Xbox specifically has been acquiring all these different companies, and you're seeing like stuff like pop up. And you see a lot more accessibility through Game Pass specifically. And I think as long as they keep gearing things towards having like an initial release, specifically on Game Pass, no matter how long it lasts there, it does make it a lot more accessible for people to play it, especially since a lot of games are starting to get priced up for next generation up to $70. Are we going to possibly see like $100 games just as a base value while there's a bunch of like additional add-ons? You're kind of seeing that with the Switch, right? Where they have their standard game, they have a like a deluxe edition of it, and then they have the amiibo, which is separate from everything. And then of course, if you're trying to collect everything, there's definitely like a third party thing. So it's already expensive as it is, right? But I mean, luckily, I always have to keep saying this. I'm so lucky to be in a position where I can afford that and not be so saddened by it. But I understand that it gets super expensive nowadays to just try to get games consistently, to the point where getting a game like each year kind of makes sense for like the household, which like a kid is always asking for a video game and you're only allowed one. Not sure if anyone else goes through that, but I personally like I know I do. Don't mind me, I'm just taking some water breaks here. It's just oh god, it is getting expensive. But my point is that Game Pass makes it the transition to next generation that much more accessible. I would even say and still argue that even though PC still has a step up as far as the performance of everything, Xbox and PlayStation particularly have upgraded themselves to a point where they perform kind of like higher end PCs before the jump to new GPU units that were released coincidentally sometime um, after or before the announcement of the release dates of these current gen consoles. So honestly, like Xbox and PlayStation have a lot more bang for their buck for as far as the performance, and I mean obviously like PC is like way beyond it now. But as far as like performance wise, like I'm seeing nothing but promise so far with like the games that are coming out. So like with their current generation, like was it Ratchet and Clank and their Rift Apart like release recently, and the fact is that like whether you go performance mode or you want to go for like the highest fidelity, is that what they would call it as far as the quality? You can't go wrong because even though like one's 30 frames, one's 60 frames, like it's both looks stellar. So I mean, it's it's ridiculous how games are looking, especially when you look at Xbox's presentation and they show Forza Horizon 5, and holy shit, like you're gonna play that, you're gonna play it on your Xbox, and be like, holy, oh my god. And then for those who are trying to play it like on Game Pass PC and have like a really good PC for that, oh my god. I'm telling you right now, like I think Forza Horizon 5 has like the best possible like utilization of just simply having backgrounds. Just give yourself some kind of dynamic background for your live stream of just movement. Similar to how like Ghost of Tsushima also has something like that too. Woo. A lot of craziness, a lot of craziness. Honestly, I don't know why I haven't even considered doing that. It's fine, like whatchamacalls it, ways to have like dynamic backgrounds. Well, not really dynamic, but just simply have backgrounds of like video games that I play. Have a recording of just simply like just absolute like stills of like your character while everything else just kind of passes on. Pretty good idea. Honestly, I don't know why I haven't done that. Honestly, I have a lot of ideas of what to do for like Twitch's side too, but I haven't really gotten to like utilizing that. But going back to E3, Xbox is in a really good standing. The accessibility of everything being on Game Pass gives it a leg up as far as the affordability of games now, to a point where it's probably like, albeit like the Switch still has $60 games, right? But you still have to pay like $60 for it. But like with Game Pass, if you don't want to be spending that much money like in one go on one game, Game Pass is just like a really good alternative, especially with Ultimate, where it's like you you paid the for the online and you pay for like Game Pass for 15 each, and at that point, like 4 months in, you've already that's when you paid for one whole game, but you've literally kind of played through like four other games. Again, great value, especially since the I think it happened actually. Did it get announced this past week about Blast Zero being released for Xbox? Like all three of them. So I'm happy to announce that. That's great. Or not me announce it, but just share it. I'm. It's just a good game. I played through the demo actually. That's something I wanted to add on here too. Blast Zero 3 is a demo that you can play on Steam right now. For a limited time. I think it's like from the 16th to the 22nd or something like that. Um, and it's pretty sizable as an experience. And honestly, it's one of those things where if I had to recommend it, I would totally recommend like playing it from the start, because the start, as far as just the re-release version, not the old Sunsoft Blast Master Zero at the time or whatever it was called, but just Blast Master Zero 1. Honestly, it has the bare bone mechanics, and if you can find some kind of joy in that, you will enjoy all the other ones. So to kind of give you an example, the first one kind of plays like a Metroidvania, as far as like you in the cockpit of like the Sophia, that's your metal attacker, um, like all terrain type vehicle. It will just go around like visiting other areas, and then the other aspect of the gameplay is just like a top down. You're just exploring dungeon like, yeah, it's kind of like a dungeon crawling type of like third person shooter, kind of. I don't know if that's the right way to like describe it, but I found like the latter as far as game mechanics to be kind of slow, but they had a mechanic where if you pick up like a power up, you have access to more weapons for as long as you don't get hit. Get hit, you lose that like your meter of like weapon accessibility. You're back down to your standard low pea shooter, which doesn't go far. It probably does 1 unit of damage, what have you. Um, and then I remember if you collect as many powers as possible, you get like this wave beam that goes through walls and like shoots rapidly. So it's your end all be all type of weapon. So the challenge that I found in Blaster Master Zero was the fact that I wanted to keep my health up like in those segments at all times. So it became challenging just so I can keep it and just blast through the game. Whereas the Sophia like platforming stuff is kind of whatever. I mean, even now it's still kind of whatever. Even like after playing the second one, granted there's a lot more exploration heavy stuff for um the Sophia bits of the game, and then of course like the second game also enhanced that experience of like where it was before. So we have like what counters and stuff like that, and ultimately the third one kind of shows you more, but they kind of like overhauled the entire um in-person dungeon crawling aspects of it, so that it's not you losing your weapons, it's just that the performance of each weapon that you have improves with each like level up that you get from it. Of course, same mechanics, don't lose health, otherwise, or at least don't get hit, otherwise you lose the enhanced abilities of those weapons. So I'm just also in for the story too. Just a sucker for the romance part of it, where it's like it's Jason and Eve. Of course, they're meant to be together, but why in the third one would you separate them? Why would you do this? And so you're like, I will personally get these two together by playing through your goddamn game. But that's ultimately my takeaway. So Blasphemous Zero 3 is a demo. I've just played it this morning. It's great. I think that just more of it and just seeing the improvements is always a nice thing to see. Um, so with that, I'm just excited to see more of the Gunvolt series that Integrate also makes. So open for that. Next game I gotta play though, as far as the demo, is Tunic. It's out on Xbox right now. As far as playing through that, that's pretty much the Zelda-esque looking one. So it was announced way back when. Don't remember the specific year for it, but I really want to try it out and see if I would really enjoy it. And I probably would. So I'm gonna have to play that. Hopefully later today. The next thing, what was it? Final Fantasy Origins, Strangers of Paradise, type of demo. I've seen a bit of it. Looks alright. Just looks alright. Comparison to like remake, definitely like looks different. Made by Team Ninja, so of course the combat's gonna be different. So we will see in due time. In other news, actually, as far as like the personal life, I guess technically we doing nothing but. I finished Moonlighter. That's that indie game that's on Game Pass right now. Or indie. Did I say indie? Damn, indie. That plays just like a Zelda Link to the Past type of dynamic. The isometric, that's the word, isometric type of like look to it, and I enjoyed it. I like the fact that it was one of those that there was the merchant type of simulation to it, and that was your means of like increasing like your weapon like upgrades. It's kind of like Monster Hunter in a sense. Um, Kaj says hi. Hi, how's it going? I was just rambling. It's episode 365, as you can know, as for DangIT Podcast, and I just had a lengthy, well, not lengthy, just a review, an honest review of this podcast, of which talking has happened, and I'm happy about that. 365. Just to give context, it was all on YouTube, and then we swapped over to Twitch for a little bit just because of the weird internet like lag and stuff like that. But yeah, it's it's been a long time, and I'll still keep doing it, even though it's kind of just me having my just chatting bits. But yeah, that's all ultimately all I can say about that. Oh, what was I? Oh yeah, so just another news. So I finished Moonlighter, so that's another game off of my gaming backlog, and now I gotta move on to Sekiro. So that's gonna be a fun one. That's gonna be a not throw your controller on the ground type of bit, but it's gonna be interesting. Because I played through like Souls like games, sure. I'm not the best things here. Oh, I saw it on your YouTube. Okay, gotcha. All right, cool, cool. Um, I know I played Dark Souls 3 a little bit. I played for the most part the first one. Never really beat that because I never really got too far interested to finish it, fortunately. But I do like the fact that it's one of those things where like it's supposed to be super difficult. So obviously I'm gonna die a lot, and so there is initiative for me, in addition to beating the game, but also trying to like best improve on myself. I guess why that's what I like about the game. So when I get around to playing Sekiro, that's gonna be great. Um, like I think actually a good question that I just asked myself: should I like release it on YouTube? I don't think so because I never really like established that, and I just got a bunch of other things trying to like. Well, at least I have another like Let's Play or lined up for YouTube at this time. Your YouTube looks good, to be honest. Do you think so? I'm happy to hear that though because we've been doing it for a while, but I've definitely been kind of like off rails as far as just like the consistency of just doing that. I kind of been splitting my focus up with sub now. Oh, really? Oh, like you subscribe to the channel right now? Appreciate that. Um, so what was the most recent thing? We as far as things I upload like from like Twitch to YouTube, and honestly I should do like a better integration of that. Like honestly, why not? Because at this point that Twitch has become like a much more core thing that I do on a relatively daily basis or like bi-daily. Is that technically like yeah, no, if anything it'd be like bi or tri-weekly type of bit. But ooh, how many subs have you on YouTube? You have so many subs. Yeah, that's from the reaction days, which we don't do anymore. So a lot of that's kind of like shadows. So you can be you'll easily be fooled by it. Oh, there's Mark. He says, "I'm done and now heading to the reception." During this podcast, my little sister got married. Hey, congrats! I'm hoping that like everything just went well, just in general, as far as everything that happened, dude. We're getting some dubs. A lot of things have happened these past like 365 days as far as like podcasts. It's been 7 years, but like, and holy shit, 7 years though. 7 years. You wouldn't think about it, but it really be like that. Okay, so what else is there? So I'm thinking, yeah, I should do a little bit more integrations with Twitch to YouTube, where it's just like, we just do our live streams here and then we just move the edited videos of those live streams over on YouTube. Really should just do that. I don't know why I'm making a big deal out of like not like doing the live streams here and there. I guess it's different with Sekiro because Anaya did do a stream of that on this Twitch channel. So it's kind of weird. I wouldn't want to like double up on Sekiro again unless it's just literally me going through it. But maybe I shouldn't even overthink. But we'll see. Yeah, good time design. Went from fan to friend, and now I'm just usually here with them. Usually preoccupied today, as you can hear. But today's the anniversary. Yeah, yeah. Essentially, it is the anniversary of the actual like numerical podcast numbers. Obviously, like I guess technically speaking, if we're talking about YouTube release, it would have been in May, but we don't really think about like the actual anniversary of the podcast each year, just the channel. Let me join Discord. Let's see if does the what does the command for like exclamation point Discord work? Try that first. Let's see if that works. You should be able to get that link. Be sure. Discord. So yeah, let me know if you guys get the link for that because honestly, like, I do have the commands just like out there. I'm in. I'm in. Hey, but welcome aboard. So to kind of give you an idea of like what's happening right now as far as YouTube and Twitch. So YouTube is where we're uploading a bunch of stuff, and albeit probably more integrated like Twitch aforementioned stuff over on the channel there in case no one wants to like or can tune in live. It is wild to think that it's been 7 years though, really wild. But so far we're uploading the podcast over on YouTube. We're uploading like let's plays over there on YouTube. I should catch myself up on like releasing Miles Morales stuff, and then maybe focus on doing Final Fantasy VII Remake into intermission episodes once I finish that for Twitch, right? And then that's pretty much it on the like the YouTube gaming side of things. Um because I've been like really busy, we haven't really been able to do like reaction based stuff except for like when we're reading the manga for My Hero Academia, which also is just something we do on Twitch, so that's kind of like an easy thing for us to do. How long have we known each other for then? Been a while. This was during reaction days, and mind you, reaction days happened like within the range of episode 70 and on. So when you think back, it's been a while. Like as far as just simply knowing Mark in the chat. So it's been wild. But I think that's pretty much everything. Um as far as Twitch's side of things, we are currently streaming Final Fantasy VII The Intermission DLC. I just had like my first like run through of like the beginning of the game just yesterday, and it's pretty sick actually. I got bodied by Ramu, but it's fine. It was a clip, so it was worth it. Also, we release Twitch highlights, so that's a fun thing to. I love seeing the old stuff. I have been considering though to move that stuff on like and make that a short form like content thing on another platform. I think if I could just put that on TikTok or something, that'd help out as far as like giving spreading the word, the good word of the Lord that is DangIT Productions. But yeah, they have known each other for a long time, but I haven't known them for six, or at least, but I have known them for 6 years. Personally, they have personally known me for like 4 or 5, I think. Yeah, dude, it's history. That's history right there. But yeah. So right now, intermission is kind of the main thing I'm gonna be streaming, aside from Sunday fight nights, which are obviously Sunday. Um, this Sunday is going to be whatchamacalls it. Like I'm like you're it's Smash Brothers, so that's gonna be fun. Especially since they just announced the Kazuya the Kazuya. Well, they announced Kazuya for Smash, and we'll definitely have another like talk about that in depth when we jump back into Smash Brothers on Sunday. Otherwise, kind of focusing on Final Fantasy on Twitch, and then we'll see from there because it's supposed to be pretty short. It's like roughly 7 to 8 hours, pretty lengthy, but still not like a full game. So thank goodness. So I'll be going through my game backlog, hopefully to take care of other games. I just know that next Wednesday is as of the time of this live stream is Sonic's anniversary. So I'm like, okay, let's do something for him. Let's play Sonic Generations. I do have Sonic Unleashed that I recently got like on sale, so I don't know if I want. Oh, I don't know. Like, ooh, I want to stream that, but I don't want to like play it out of order. But maybe I just don't care. Let's just play it out of order. Oh, but Sonic Punk, yes. So as disappointed as I am for the Sonic series, as far as the more like modern like takes for them, as far as games specifically, I'm still pretty much a Sonic fan at heart. So I'm just gonna be support. I'm gonna be supporting them. My Hero reads are always a good time. Huh? Izuku Midoriya? Recently became an inside joke. Honestly, I listened to that again, and it didn't come off as super weird. But you know what, Mark? If you enjoyed that, that's fine. It's part of the meme. It's part of the collection. It's gonna be part of the highlights. I came across that like before I released it on YouTube, so I do have the clip of that. So we're good. Was there anything else I wanted to bring up? I think that's everything. Yeah. Oddly enough, it's been like about an hour. Well, an hour as far as like when I would usually release. Oh, and just in good timing. Kaj says I have to go now. My sleep time, or at least my time here, is like 22:57, which is like yeesh. So I gotta sleep badly. So have a good day. All right, take care. We're actually gonna wrap up here too. But I guess that's pretty much it for like the YouTube side of things. But all right, in that case, I guess we're good. Honestly, even though this has kind of like been the solo podcast, I had a lot to say. I'm happy about that. Otherwise, if I ever feel like I don't have anything else to add on, then we'll just cut the episode. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode of DangIT Prodcast, especially if you watch it like when it's released later on YouTube. It's been episode 365. Cheers to my empty water water bottle and my other empty water bottle, which I finished up like way beforehand. Discussing E3 next week, or did you cover it? I covered what I cared about. And that was Xbox and Nintendo. Not in full, but just general takes on them. It's a shame we never really like. I didn't do like an actual like unseen reaction. I just literally just watched it off. So I don't know if I want to do as far as reaction. Me, like I don't feel like I'm owed to do that. Just whatever. All right, gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Episode 365. We ain't stopping yet. We're gonna just keep doing this because it's literally just been a whole year of just straight talking. So we'll end here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, my name is Justin. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone. Maybe move this to YouTube because it's been like totally healthy since then, and we'll just do it one more time. We'll go from there. But yeah, all right. Bye.